Hey, Coach. So tonight, KJ Martin, he was impressive, Coach. Do you think his time in the G League gave him confidence inside these last two games, Coach?
Absolutely. I think all four guys who we've had who played in the G League bubble gained a lot of confidence. KJ, KP, Anthony Lamb, and Justin Patton. Those guys, I mean, that's what the G League is for them to get playing time, confidence, all those things. And as you saw by how KJ played, it was great. Like you see a big jump, you see an improvement from when he was here prior, and he wouldn't have had the opportunity to play the minutes that he played and get the just get a feel for the speed and just the NBA game. And you try to replicate it as much in practice as you can. With limited practice, it was important for him to go down there and make mistakes and understand where he can be successful and what his strengths are. And he showed all of those tonight. He showed all of his strengths as far as rebounding the ball. I mean, what do you have? 6 offensive rebounds, 10 rebounds total, and playing around the rim, and being athletic, and on the defensive end, switching and keeping people in front of him, and just a lot of different things, a lot of intangibles. So yeah, his time in the G League bubble, as well as the other three guys, is definitely beneficial, and it's going to carry forward for our group.
Jonathan Fagan.
Stephen, how much of keeping this game tight, having a chance in the fourth quarter, was just about these guys, especially the really young guys, not conceding anything going in despite the circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of, before the game, talked to those guys about like where they have all been at some point this year, right? So we had 4 guys who were in the G League at some point this year. We had Dave Nwaba, who had an Achilles injury, and we had Ben, who's been kind of in and out of the lineup, and Jayshawn Tate, who didn't know whether he was going to be a starter in the league or play or whatever. He was undrafted, and Sterling Brown, was a free agent this summer and is having the best year of his career. So understanding like the blessing that this opportunity brings with due to circumstances, but we can't take it for granted, and everybody has been at a low point this year, and for those guys to go out there and fight the way that they did, to your point, is gratifying and something that we can build on. And obviously we lost the game, and that wasn't great at all, but to see the fight in those young guys, but Dave Nwaba just deciding that he wasn't going to worry about his injury and coming down and playing. That's character, and that's winning attitude that we need.
Thank you.
Michael Shapiro.
Hey, Coach. Kevin Porter Jr.'s, feel for the game has certainly been pretty impressive. Has that surprised you at all, considering just his general inexperience?
Yeah, it has surprised me. I mean, I watched a ton of his G League games, and you never know how much it's going to be able to carry over, right? Like, it's a different setting, it's different talent level, it's a lot of different things, but he does have a great feel, and having him with the basketball in his hands is a good thing. And, prior to this, his NBA experience was playing the 3, and now we have him playing the point and making decisions, and he's really good in those situations. He doesn't turn it over much. He can find who's open, making simple plays, and he didn't make the shots that he wanted to make tonight, but that stuff will come. But just to your point, like, his feel for the game is something that we need.
Thank you.
Brian Beckfield.
Coach, what does it say about the leadership of the players that were on the sideline that was coaching up the younger players when they came in, very enthusiastic and showing a lot of excitement from the bench? How does that make you feel as a coach, knowing that you have that type of leadership that's getting ready to come back?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, you look at the losing streak that we're on, and everybody could be fraying and going their separate ways, and just especially coming into this atmosphere where we're playing the best team in the West, and we're shorthanded, and it could have been a game where people kind of just mailed it in, and not just the guys on the floor, but the guys off the floor, as you mentioned. But John Wall's up talking to KP, and Christian's up, talking to KJ, and Vic's up talking to those guys and helping me. So, it really tells you kind of, even though we're at a low point right now, our spirit is still here and our togetherness is still here. And I think what we saw the most tonight is when we're healthy and we have our full group, that we're going to be pretty good.
Kaylee Griffin.
Coach, coming into tonight's game, the Jazz had the best rebounding percentage in the NBA, and I believe the Rockets had the worst rebounding percentage. Both teams tonight, 50 boards apiece. You had a season-high 18 offensive rebounds. I know that's something that you've emphasized to this team throughout the season, attacking the glass. What was different in terms of how you attacked the glass tonight, especially with such limited bodies?
Yeah, it was really just the effort of those guys and understanding we are shorthanded and we got to do whatever it takes. And for between KJ Martin and Anthony Lamb, for those guys to have 13 offensive rebounds between the two of them, it's just effort, activity, and those guys playing to their strengths, knowing that maybe they're not going to get the ball and play calls called for them, but they can go get the rebounds and they can go get us an extra possession. And just like the hard play is what stood out tonight from those young guys. And like I said, this is an interesting opportunity for those guys because of our situation and because of the circumstances with all the injuries that we had. And they took it and ran with it, and I couldn't be prouder.
Zach Allen.
Hey, Coach. Speaking on the heart of the team, you just said about the togetherness. I mean, David Nwaba playing with one hand tonight. I mean, it's unremarkable. Then you go down to how the paint presence side, the defensive paint presence was so impressive in the fourth quarter. How can you describe the defense in the fourth quarter and, of course, the heart of this team?
Yeah, I mean, we gave up 49 points in the second half, and we gave up, 65 in the first half. So we buckled down. We just played really hard, and I don't think I can remember in my career like a situation like Dave, right? Like Dave was, so what was it, 2 weeks ago, I said that Dave was going to be out 6 weeks and he's going to get surgery. And then the next day I hear he's going to get a second opinion. And then right before All-Star break, we're going to just wait and see if it gets any better. And then right after All-Star break, they said it didn't get much better. And then after last night's game where he was dying on the side, wishing he could be in the game, he comes up to me and says he wants to play. And then he goes out there and plays the game that he played, like defensively, getting after guys, making plays, big block shot on Gobert, driving the ball to the rim, like just such a, like, that's why you coach, like that's why you coach. Guys like that are why you coach. And moments like that, those are the things that like really just make you gratified and make those long nights of watching film or the losing streak and all those things like pale in comparison to just like the heart and the character of the people that you have in your locker room.
Adam Wexler.
Coach, the attributes and skills that KPJ has in his game are pretty obvious. You talked about those. What do you think about his demeanor? He seems to play very even-keeled, very calm out there.
Yeah, he does have like a serene, like, I don't know, sereneness to him. And he is just composed for a young kid. He doesn't get too high, too low. and that's a steadying influence on the rest of the group. You know, when you have the guy who has the ball in his hands most of the time, which was tonight for him, kind of play in that manner and not get rattled by a run by the opposing team or a turnover or a bad play. Just kind of have next play mentality. It's pretty cool for a young guy to be that way. And he's played 2 games for us, and we're not gonna overstate anything, but I think we got something there.
And last question, Brian Bearfield.
Coach, your young group went up against the #1 team in the NBA tonight. Is it kind of like an advantage for you to have, though, for these young guys not to know that, hey, we're going up against the Utah Jazz or we're going to see a Nets team later on? They just want to go out there and play basketball.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's an advantage, but you're on point with what you're saying. For those guys to just go out and play free and not really worry about the status or whatever, who they're playing against. They just trying to establish themselves as individuals, but mostly as a group, and do whatever it takes for us to be successful. So, yeah, it's a man, it's been a crazy year, and to have like 8 or 9 guys out there just playing their hearts out at this point, after all of the stuff that has been going on with this group from the day I basically got hired, it's pretty cool to see.
Thank you, Coach.